doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm doing very, very well. How about you?
Oh, I'm fantastic.
Great,
Fantastic.
good to
Things
hear.
are going good. Things are going good for me. Thanks for joining me for my podcast. Just
Woo!
Vibrations, travelers of the astral and physical realms.
Yeah, thank you, man. I feel honored doing this. You just asked me an hour ago. I was a bit unexpected, so I'm like, oh yeah, cool.
Oh, I
So
like to keep it relaxed though. It's not I don't plan these things out much. So, we just have a chat and stuff. But, we can catch
yeah,
up. We might as well, record it and stuff. So,
yeah,
all
why
right?
not?
Are you holding the camera there, or
Yeah, yeah, I'm holding it.
we might be chatting for an hour. Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, I don't have anything else to put it on. I just have my phone or something,
You don't have any books you can wedge it up on, or
No, but I'm fine. I can switch arms and stuff, so it's okay. I'm good.
okay, fair enough. That's cool. So, how you been?
Yeah, well, busy. Going back from travels, going back to the Netherlands because of Corona and all the shit has been like quite hectic. Going from the whole spiritual journey in Asia, going back to the Netherlands, going back to my old friends and stuff, like the not spiritual ones. Well, yeah, you know how it goes.
Muggles.
Yeah.
Well, I love them. I mean, we were muggles at one point.
Yeah.
We all evolve.
I love you name them like that. That's quite cool. So as you know, in the Netherlands, it's quite hard to find a house. So I found a house quite quickly. I thank the universe for that. So I just recently moved houses again because it was a bit too small. So moving places is still like a bit hectic. Like you need to find your way around again, like settle down again. So yeah, now I'm good. I got my own room for the singing bowl for the sound healings.
Yeah. I was about to ask you, is it set up? Can you show us the
I don't have light there.
Oh, okay.
Because I really don't need it there. Like if I'm there with other people doing a sound healing session, I just use some candles and like I don't want.
It's better in the darkness than.
Yeah, especially.
Are you getting many people to do sound healings at the moment with the whole situation?
Well, in the beginning, just between the first and the second wave of Corona, I could do some group sessions, and it was going all right. But then, like full lockdown hit, so I cannot do it anymore. And now once a week, somebody comes like for a private session.
Okay.
That's going pretty well. Like people are happy about it. They're going away with a smile. So that's that's what I want. And my family is coming. Like especially my parents, they come every week. I'm like, oh, but can I come again?
So you got your parents in on it too?
Yeah. My mother is like fully into spirituality. Like she just comes to like the sound healings and she goes like boom straight deep into meditative state, and like she's been meeting with spirits. She met the Buddha. Like all weird stuff happens when she's around and when she goes for a sound healing. So
she met Buddha.
Yeah, she met Buddha. So that was like, what? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Well, if I'm not mistaken, in the Buddhist beliefs, please someone correct me in the comments if I get this wrong, but Buddha is not a person, it's more of a state of being. It's almost
I mean, you're right, totally right. But I mean like Shakyamuni Buddha, like the Buddha you see from statues,
right.
That person.
The physical embodiment of the Buddha that we all understand. That's really cool.
Yeah, the Shakyamuni Buddha, that's like I think it's Gautama Shakyamuni, like that's the person.
Yeah.
Very sharp on me for correcting that one though. I should have.
Did I ever tell you that time that Carolina and I and a few other friends, we Thomas as well, he was with us. We did a tarot spread and we were connecting with Buddha, Maharashi, and Jesus.
Oh shit! Oh cool.
Yeah, when we were in Europe, we made a spread with the Tree of Life, the Kabbalah, but we did a little twist on it as well. It was like we were sitting around. I'm pretty sure we were just sitting around drinking beer, smoking some cigarettes, and we were just experimenting, and we had just a bunch of people around us. I mean, you know who Thomas, you know what Thomas is
Yeah,
like
yeah,
in his shamanic stuff. And we had an Indian fella with us, Mukesh, and he's a palm reader as well. You know, he's very much into the Vedic teachings as well. And just like one night we were just like throwing the cards around, playing with these patterns, and then suddenly we just start, boom, some crazy, you know, messages were coming through. But you know, yeah,
oh wow, yeah, but
interesting stuff.
connecting with the Buddha is like my favorite thing. Like he gave so many good teachings. Like I mean, like, oh man, it's like, yeah, cool.
He's just a chill guy, like, you know.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
sit down,
Yeah,
shut up, and meditate. Like,
yeah, just chill. Like life is bliss anyway. So like, don't worry and like go the middle way. Like, yeah, I really connect with the Buddhism teachings.
yeah. How's those ayahuasca ceremonies, man?
Oh yeah, so I did one in Thailand on Koh Phangan. There was like a guy shaman. He was a bit the ceremony was a bit dark. I don't know. They were like full of guys, and even the shaman was a guy. It was wonderful, a lot of healing done, but it was like a bit of a dark side to it. Like I cannot like put my finger in.
That's Koh Phangan.
Yeah, I think it's Koh Phangan because like all weird stuff happened there. And I'm like, oh fuck, this is actually not okay. But I'm not sure if it's true. You know, like it's a bit. Yeah, you cannot put a finger on it. Like it's a bit weird.
Yeah, it's I had my moments there that I really enjoyed, but it was a weird vibe. It was just like, I felt like it was people that were lost, not people that were seeking. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Those
yeah,
people,
yeah.
they're kind of lost, and they're trying to touch on the spirituality, try and find their self. They're trying to find some kind of a purpose, but they missed the mark somewhere in that place.
Yeah, I get what you're meaning. It like when you get there, it feels like, oh, this is paradise island, you know, this is perfect. And I'm like looking around, and like something is not completely right. Like I just didn't feel like I want to live here, or you know, just.
And you know about all the tantra stuff that goes on there. They've had like there was like some places that got shut down because of some unmentionable things happening.
Yeah, like he called himself a Swami as well. I forgot his name.
Well, let's leave the names out if I'm going to put this on YouTube.
Yeah, like I'm going to put names on it.
Crashing people, even if they deserve it. So keep that one.
Yeah,
keep that one in the dark.
Yeah. But yeah. So recently, I did just after Christmas, I did a second ayahuasca ceremony, and I was looking for. Like I did a bit of like tarot reading, like, and I know I needed to be a bit more in the feminine energy, like heal that part of me, because I've always been acting out of the masculine and blah blah blah. So I asked for a female shaman, like, and I did a private session with, well, not completely private, but with one other girl, and she had her house cats with her as well. So there were 2 female cats as well. So I was the only guy there at the ceremony.
Did you say female cats?
Yeah, female. Yeah.
Did you say
weird? Cat? Yeah. She brought the cats to the ceremony.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, that's so wonderful to be with a cat. He just lays on you. You're looking at this creature and like, wow, this is pure perfectness. The being, like you connect with it. It's doing ayahuasca with an animal like that, and I'm like, wow, this is perfect. And the ayahuasca ceremony itself was just pure love, feminine energy, really not harsh, not chill, just chill, no dark sides, anything. It was cool. I saw Jesus.
Nice.
He showed me how guys can be perfect as well, because I believe like the masculine collective is a bit corrupted, you know, like the thoughts and like all the things. And he showed me like,
I don't think it's limited to the masculine though. I think, you know,
but like just being a man, like knowing this masculine is like a bit hard, you know. That's my masculine side. That's
for yourself. Yeah.
So I know so he showed me like it's okay to like be a man and stand for like being a man, and it's beautiful and it's perfect being a man. I'm like, oh, thank you, man. Yeah, so that was wonderful.
Yeah. What kind of, I'm always curious, what kind of visuals are it? Like, let's like break it down. Let's say, what does it start off? You drink a tea, don't you, at the beginning of it? Some kind of concoction?
Yeah, like you drink in Thailand, I just drank one blurry like mud stuff, and in the Netherlands it was just like 2 cups of a bit of tea, like she made tea of it, and you drink it cold though, but you know, it's just in one sip, like,
Yeah.
and then about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you just start, yeah, like you you feel your head going a bit like this, but you're just sitting still, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, when you also smoked DMT in
Yeah, of course.
Nepal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Many times. Yeah.
Like it's like those visuals, like similar, but
Yeah.
a lot more extended and less heavy though. The visuals are less intense, but they go on for longer and longer and longer. And it's about, and with if you smoke the DMT, like it's not about like, oh, you need to, you just get this like heavy, intense session for like 10 minutes or something. And now it's first ayahuasca goes into you, and like, it's like, man, give up, like, give up trying, like, give up, like, don't stop fighting. And as soon as you do that, then the magic really starts happening. And then it's going to show you all sorts of stuff. And like, what are you doing wrong? What are you doing good? And it's so lovely. It's not, if you allow it to be and you stop fighting, like, yeah, it's just wonderful. It's just really, yeah, just pure love. It's just the feminine energy a lot.
What was the fighting that you're talking about? Because you said obviously you got some, you need to surrender yourself, but what is it do you feel like's holding you back in that moment? Is it like, because I know DMT is kind of like, it starts to feel like when it comes on, it feels like this reality starts to dissolve around you. Like,
yeah,
it's like a veil is being lifted and everything's just dissolving. Is it similar to that? And
no, because it's way less intense, because you're still more in your body. Like if you smoke it, like it hits you, like the veil is lifted instantly, and now it's still there. And it's like the same when you're, let's say you're a muggle and you're at, you have a tough day at your job. It's really stressful. Like you go cleansing your jaw, like you get all these, like your muscles are going like this. Exactly the same. Like you just release and let go of reality, because like the reality that we see is not real, you know. So that's the whole thing of being stressed. You focus on this reality, and that we need to learn to like let go, and then the world opens up. Same as meditation, actually. Like just let go and chill.
which one do you think is the reality though? Do you think we are in this physical plane? Is the reality, or is the reality, are we experience here? Are we in a dream, or is when you cross over, is that the dream?
Wow. Oh, that's a very difficult question. You got me there.
I mean, I don't think anyone has the right answer, but
I would say like everyone is the reality, but at a different perspective, at a different level of mind, at a different level of consciousness. Like ultimately, your subconscious will know the real reality, like what's going on. But I think for us, everything is the same reality, because when you're dreaming, you also have a body, right? I'm doing like a bit of lucid dreaming, and I'm looking at my hands, and they look very different, but it's still a body. So if I look at my hands right now, I see a hand, but it's still a body, you know? Like it's your mind creates this body. So I think everything what we experience will be a reality at a different cause and effect and different laws. But it's just my view. Like I'm not saying this is truth, of course.
So you've been lucid dreaming as well then? Was this happening before or after the ayahuasca experiences?
Before. Okay. It's around October or something.
Yeah.
But I just quit like for a few months, because like moving houses, life is stressful. Like I'm doing sound healings and doing like I started doing the jewelry wrapping like you did.
Oh yeah,
I just
yeah.
got too much going on, so I'm like, okay, I need to stop with something, because it's just too much sometimes.
Just before you get too much further, as far with that jewelry wrapping, remind me after this to give you my supplier in India.
For you mean like crystals?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, that will be wonderful.
Yeah, he looks after all of my friends, and yeah, I don't know if I've...
Yeah, you really like inspired me with your like jewelry. I like
yeah.
They're so beautiful.
yeah, and the one you had's a little butterfly. How many pieces have you made?
Just made like 4 pieces right now.
Yeah.
But I really got respect for you now, like for the patience, like start like learning this stuff is like you need to like, and then you break it and like, no, relax, like just try again.
Yeah, sometimes you'll get like halfway through making a piece and you'll be struggling with it and it'll just be a complete fight. And then sometimes it's worth pushing through that creative boundary and just being like, just keep going, keep doing it. And even if I'm like at this point, I'm like, I don't like it. I hate it. I just don't like this piece. I've learned that you still see it through to the end because somebody else is going to like it. I mean, you're at the point you're doing it for a personal, I sell my pieces, of course, but when you're doing it personally, it's a lot different. When I'm making a personal piece, I can get halfway through it, be unhappy, and I'll just destroy it and start all over again. But if I'm just making a piece for the sake of making a piece to just add to the stock of my shop, they're like, no, just finish it. Someone's going to love it. Someone's going to like it.
Yeah. Yeah. It could be perfect for somebody else, of course. Yeah.
Which crystals have you wrapped so far?
You want me to show?
Sure. Do you know which crystals they are though?
Yeah. Like I really, after meeting you guys, I got like way more into crystals as well. Like I use them during sound healings as well. So this is it, can you see it? Like I made this.
There we go.
One.
Yep.
This is my second piece.
Is that black tourmaline?
Yeah, that's black tourmaline. Yep. This is the obsidian. But this is my second piece. It didn't go quite well, but it was just like trying.
Sounds pretty cool, man.
Trying some stuff.
It's kind of got the Eye of Horus feel to it.
And I was just creating this one, but I need to put it a bit together because it was not finished. But well, I just put the crystal without it. I was making. Oh, how do you change it? Like, can you see it?
Yeah. That's a piece of sodalite, or is that lapis lazuli?
No, it's lapis lazuli.
Yeah.
And well, yeah, the lapis lazuli was also on this one, like the butterfly thing one.
Oh, you've destroyed it?
Yeah, because like I ordered some new crystals, but like they didn't come in. So I'm like, yeah, I need to keep going on.
Yeah.
Because it's still not perfect. And then I just rather break them apart and then just make it again. And this is the clear quartz.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the same model as the lapis. So I'm just experiencing with, practicing with brass and copper, but I want to go with some other metals as well.
I work with brass a lot. It's really malleable, really easy and forgiving to work with. Brass is a bit more, it's tricky to work with. It's tough to work with at times. Silver's amazing. It's soft. It just moves into the right place, but it breaks easily and it's expensive. So, plus the whole market around that's a bit tricky. So do you use those pieces? Do you have like a necklace for when you do the healings though?
Yeah, I always use this necklace.
Malachite? Oh no, that's
turquoise. I always use turquoise. So I have for all the top chakras. I have like I bought this very special stone in Thailand, but I forgot the name. It's been like a year ago now. There are 2 types of stones in it. It's a bit greenish.
That's prehnite. I'd hedge my bets that's prehnite. Prehnite is the healer's stone. So for
Yeah.
anyone that does any kind of energetic healing, that's really good. That's the stone that will allow you to give as much energy to the patient or the client that you have, but it also allows you to retain enough energy for yourself that you do not feel depleted or drained after the session. So perfect stone for you when you're doing healings on people.
Yeah, cool. Well, cool. Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah.
I was
nice
told
piece
that yeah, it's I paid a lot for it, but it doesn't matter. Like I just love it. I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was told like it protects the healer as well.
Oh, of course.
So that's why I also bought it, because like I'm having problems being influenced by people who come in and who have like pretty bad traumas. Like I get really influenced in that room. Like I had nightmares afterwards, and like I need to protect myself, you know.
Yeah, sure.
But then I also have like one amethyst just in front of me, and I have like the pendulum. Do you remember the clear quartz pendulum?
From Nepal.
From Nepal.
I can't say I do remember, but you know,
like when I just bought my first balls, like you guys showed me, oh yeah, like you should use like a pendulum and check chakras at other people, and then I bought this clear quartz.
I remember now. I remember when you were doing healings on the top of the guest house.
Yeah.
You come a long way, hey?
yeah. But yeah, that was a really great trick, and like I use the pendulum now as well, just to swing the chakras, like unblock them a bit.
Yeah.
So I just go above the chakra and then just feel it and like start swinging it again. So people go more into like a relaxed state for the sound healing.
How's the connection to the pendulum, and how's your healing practice been affected since the ayahuasca experiences?
That's a good one. Yeah, it does definitely influence. I always wait. Well, I only did twice, like ayahuasca, but after ayahuasca, I wait at least 1 week before I do it again, because you're just too open for other energies and stuff. But I feel like I didn't made my sound healings a lot better, because I don't know, you improve so slightly, like small bits that's not really noticeable. Like, oh, now I took ayahuasca, now I'm so much better.
Yeah, right.
It's just like small pieces the whole time. So
yeah, okay then.
And it really depends on the person as well. If somebody's coming for the first time and doesn't really dare to release, to let go, like I don't feel too much either. Like I feel the stress when I'm doing the sound healing. But when my mother comes, like she has been laying down for at least 20 times already. So she goes deep. Like, and then I already, like, I feel like all other stuff as well, you know, like quite some, like last session, she was thinking about my aunt, and she has like a lot of trauma. She's a dark place. And at some point, like I felt like crying. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, nothing is not going well. And I'm like, shall I stop, or shall I wake up my mother? Because like she was also being a bit like shaking. No, I'm like, oh shit, this is not going well. So then you get really sensitive. But that's, yeah, coming back to the subject, that's not because of the ayahuasca. It's just because you practice every time a bit by bit.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying. Like it really depends on which person you get as well, if it's heavy or not.
Yeah.
So,
well, I find that like with tarot readings as well, like you have some people, if someone's open to it, you're probably gonna have a great reading, because they're invested in it. But I don't know, I guess if someone is going for a sound healing, it's a bit strange if they wouldn't be ready to open up, you know, they've already kind of committed to that experience. But
well, you always have like the conscious person wants to go, but like subconsciously they're still like holding on, they don't want to go, like sort of thing.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong though, but like there's still a part in them they don't want to let go.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I'm normally, if you go for like a sound healing here in the Netherlands, like you pay like €60 for 1 hour. I'm like, oh well, and it's just, I don't find it okay. Like it's not like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try it now. So I just keep it like for a lot lower price. So people go and like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try it, because I want to keep this open. Like I want to get my money from somewhere else, and just gonna keep my sound healings, and then so they don't have to pay like big money just to do like one sound healing or two or three. Like it's not the way.
So if anyone is listening to this podcast and they are in the Netherlands, we have Bart doing reasonable priced healings.
Yeah. Well, I do it for €25. So I mean,
right. There you go. We'll get your socials later, so I can put it in the description. But I think I think also when you do start off doing healings and this kind of stuff, you know that you're worth something, but also like for yourself, you are at the beginning of your game as well. Like for myself, I've been working with tarot for over 2 years, but I've only just started doing readings at the beginning of this year. But as what I charge for a tarot reading is is significantly different to what Carolina charges, but she's been doing it, nigh close to 10 years now, 8, 9, 10 years or so. So I think in time you start to realize what your value is, particularly if you're working with energy as well, because you do have to consider that energetic exchange as well. And one thing that, Carolina learned, and she passed on to me, and I observed as well, that if you offer a healing or a tarot reading for free or for a ridiculously low price, the person that comes to you might not be invested in it. You know what I mean? I use this analogy. It's kind of like if you lend somebody a book, they might read it, they might not, but if that person goes out and buys the book for full price, it's a lot more likely that they're going to read this book, and they're going to take full use out of it. And I think that as healers, as, mediums and other people in these practices, it's a tricky balance really to find that. But when you start out, you have to find what you're worth, and over time, I mean,
I kind of understand you. That's, I like that one. But like, that's a thing that grows, of course, like what you say, like you do the tarot, and maybe in a few years, you're like, oh, well, it should be like a few euros more, like increase the price or whatever. So maybe who knows, I ever like raise the price for it. But for now, I'm just happy I'm already happy doing it, because when you do a healing on somebody else, you heal yourself actually as well. You heal yourself as well. Because like it's still a training. Like every tarot reading you do, you get better as well. So I'm like, I see benefit of two sides. So for now, I think the price is fair.
Look, I'm not saying it's not, because like I said, I'm at the same point with my tarot readings. You know what I mean? Like I'm at the beginning, and for every reading I do, and by the way, if you want a reading after this, we can do it. Just cool. Fun of it, because that practice, you need that practice as well. So it's like that's the beginning of your path. So we all got to start somewhere. We can't drop the Monday to Friday life immediately, can we? So.
No, it's been heavy trying this, but but it's going bit by bit. So
how does it go when you do healings on your mum? Because I don't know. I think, at least maybe with my parents, I think, if I'm doing something like tarot, I know, parents, they don't always want you to know everything about their past and everything they're doing, because they want to project that they're the strong parental figure that can, provide and support whatever they want. And they don't always want to be vulnerable in front of their children. Do you get that with your family?
Actually, totally no, because I'm coming from a very well, you could say simple family. Like my father was a florist, worked in the flowers, like farmer people, like not farmer, but so then like I break loose and go to Asia, and I come back with like singing bowls and like meditation, like crystals, and like And they look at me like, oh, what's going on? This person really changed. So, and they very open to this new things I show them. So no, they're actually very open to me, like, oh yeah, but learn stuff there in Asia. And they spoke to people like you guys, like you taught me a lot. I learned a lot in the monastery. I learned a lot in Thailand. Like all of these things from these open-minded people I can share with them, and I didn't force it on them, and they were like listening to me and asking me stuff, and like going to sound healings to try it just for me. See, and they start seeing like what's going on, like they open their eyes, and then like, oh, so no, they're really not being the parent, like they're really open to me and like about their past, what happened. And they're also my grandparents. Well, their history is also my grandparents, so why should they not share it with me? Like I'm also part of them.
Sure.
See, so I'm really respectful for my parents. They're so open-minded, and they're talking about their own problems from their childhood, and they're listening to me, and I'm really grateful for that. Yeah, so, but it's a bit weird, because normally your parents are always the one teaching you. Now it's a bit. I'm not teaching them. I'm more like I'm telling them stuff, because like I had all these ways of getting information, like from people, from books, and I'm still the only single in the family, so I can still study and do this, and then tell them. So they're really happy that I share my things that I have learned with them. So that's.
Can I go back to you talking about lucid dreaming?
Yeah, of course. I love dreaming.
Yeah. Tell us about it. This is something I don't know. You might have even heard me talk about it briefly when we last met in person, but like, are you actively trying to lucid dream, or is this something that's just kind of happened?
Well, it's kind of a long story short. Do you remember in Nepal when I was meditating and suddenly like this angel dropped into my meditation and said, "Yo, I'm Samuel and you need to do this and smoke the DMT, blah, blah." Do you remember this story?
I remember you. Yeah, I remember vaguely what was happening during that time.
Yeah, so this guy showed up in my meditation back then. And like a half year ago, like I'm sleeping and like I wake up with this message in my head from knowing that it was Samuel. He said, "I cannot make things better for you, but I can make things less worse." So I'm like, what the hell does this mean? So I don't know. It's still the only message I got from him through the dreams. But then I was like, if I can get messages through dreams, like this stuff should be like really interested in doing this stuff. And then I just Googled a bit, and they say just get a journal, and every time when you wake up, you start journaling, start writing down every dream, and really fast, like you start remembering your dreams. And at the same time, you program your mind before going to bed. You just go in a short meditation, maybe 1-2 minutes, and say to your body, like, I'm going to remember my dreams. When I wake up, I write them down. I'm going to become lucid, and I just keep repeating it. And also ask the spirits, or like whatever like practice you follow, which you can contact with, ask them for help. I'm like, as soon as in 1 or 2 weeks, and I'm not special in this, like a lot of people have this, after 2 weeks, like you're writing down like all stories, like, I'm like, whoa, and they get more intense. And when you do that, after maybe 2 weeks, 1 month, this is where it gets like a bit heavy with the Monday to Friday working job, because like you need to put your alarm after 5 hours of sleeping, wake up for 30 till 90 minutes, and then go back to bed. And this is the moment where you stay conscious when you go to sleep. And then you have the most lucid dreams. I'm not saying you become lucid like straight away, because I've been lucid now like for 3 or 4 times, and it's really difficult to maintain in a dream, because like you're waking up, so your body's waking up, but you're still in the dream, and you need to somehow maintain being in a dream. But
do you? I've read up a bit on lucid dreaming and a few techniques. So I'm currently dream journaling every morning. Like before I even open my eyes, I kind of run over, okay, what happened in the dream? This person did this, these animals, blah, blah, blah. And then if I've got that in my head, I'll pick up the dream journal and I'll write it down. Maybe on average, maybe one in every three mornings, I'll be able to write something down. And sometimes I won't even get more than like a paragraph. But I have heard that one thing to anchor yourself. Do you anchor yourself when you're in the lucid dream space?
I'm still having a really hard time. Like, can you define like how to? What do you mean with anchor it?
These were two steps. So once you manage to actually break through, which it sounds like you have already, these are two steps which I've heard. And if anyone tells me I'm saying something wrong, let me know in the comments. I'd like to know. I'd like to be corrected. I want to learn about this. But one of the first things, I can't remember which one you do first, to be honest. But I think one of the first things is you look at your hands. You immediately look at your hands. And I don't know if you get this, but when you first break into it, everything's fuzzy. It's almost like pixelated, like a low resolution video game. And you look at your hands and you just keep looking at them until all the lines on your hands become more and more clear. You can see your fingerprints. You can see everything that's going on in your hands. Turn them over, look at the fingernails, your knuckles. Once you've done that, because you're familiar with your hands, it's like you're turning up the resolution. So the dream space is now becoming more clear to you. So once you've got that with your hands, everything's clear. It's like, okay, cool. You've got clarity. And the second thing you do, again, I don't know which order you do this in. The second thing to do is like, have you ever done the grounding and protection meditation that we do, where your feet turn into roots and those roots will dig into the earth. But in this case, they dig into the dreamscape. They dig into your dream, and then they lock in, and you start drawing energy into yourself, into your heart through the dreamscape. And then secondly, I've heard using your hands, but we use the crown chakra when we do our grounding and protection meditation, but maybe the crown chakra would work too, but you can use your hands and you draw white light into your hands and into your heart space, or maybe it might even work through the crown chakra as well. So in doing that, that is anchoring yourself. So first you bring clarity, and then secondly, you anchor yourself. And once you anchor yourself, that gives you more time to explore and connect more in the dreamscape. This is what I've read, but yeah, there you go.
It sounds very like amazing. Like it's a visualizing light in your hands, like the real deal, like
they're like the two things you want to do immediately once you've broken through. And there's some other things as well. It's like if you want to get out of your dreamscape, if you're like done and you want to leave for some reason, is one of the things is you pull your phone out and you look at your screen and you start using your phone, because your phone will not act the way it should in this reality. In the dreamscape, the phone's going to do some weird stuff. So then you're kind of like, hang on, this is weird. This isn't working. And that'll get you out. And then there's something else about spinning, because sometimes you get to this point. These are all things I've read. I've disappeared on me. Are you still there? Oh, yeah. Another thing is like you can get to a point where you start spinning, like you're out of control, like everything starts to fall apart. You can then demand clarity. So it's like you stomp your feet on the ground. You're like, I demand clarity. And it's just like, boom, and then things just kind of, because as you start to spin out and you start to lose that touch with the dreamscape, you start to come back to your body. Whereas if you want to stay in there, you can kind of be like, boom, like bring me back. Or you spin your head around, you do a look around your entire 360 degrees to kind of reorient yourself. I don't know. I've read up a few things. Unfortunately, I haven't had the chance to practice.
They're very interesting techniques you tell. I would like to try them out, definitely. And I read this book about lucid dreaming, and this one phrase in it, I love it very much. He said, as many as there are lucid dreamers, as many are there techniques. So for every lucid dreamer, there's one different technique. You see, there's so many different techniques, like to anchor yourself, or like to get into this lucid dreaming, like there's so many techniques, like it's very personal for everybody else. But I like the way that you say, like looking at your hands, like using your senses, feeling stuff, and it really works. But it's still difficult to maintain it.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
and
I remember having a lucid dream once, and Carolina was in it. Like it was just regular dream. Somehow I managed to break through, and I was like, "Oh, I'm here. This is really cool." And then I meet Carolina, and I'm like, "Oh, we're in a dream." And she's like, "Come here. I want to show you something." And so we walk through a building, and she takes me into what looks like a conference room, and then there's a projector on the wall. There's a big screen on the wall, and it was like a picture of outer space. And I'm like, "What is this?" And she's like, "It's a film." And I'm like, why are we watching a film? This is just like a regular dream. I don't want to watch a film. And then I just, boom, okay, I'm back in my body. I'm back. I'm out of reality. Oh, fuck. I ruined it. I screwed it up.
Oh, but do you remember like being like the day after, how you feel like after you wake up and like you're all still like,
yeah, it's like mind blown.
yeah, you still feel in a different reality or something, like, you know, what's going on, like your whole body feels different. You feel like a bit like up in the air and like, oh, what's going on?
Because you've just been flying around in some different reality that's totally different to this.
Yeah. So, but so you're studying for it now as well, or like not
Oh, look,
actively, or?
you know, study and me, and books. I have a book on yoga nidra, which I've started. Unfortunately, either it's my lack of discipline when it comes to reading, or the book just isn't written interestingly enough. I should give it another crack. But yoga nidra and dream and lucid dreaming aren't exactly the same thing, but I think they're very closely tied into each other. The yoga nidra is very much around the idea of bringing healing to yourself and conditioning your, or deprogramming and reprogramming your subconscious and that kind of stuff. But this, what I was explaining to you, this is stuff that I read on the internet a while ago when I was interested. The main thing which I've been working on, obviously I've got the dream journaling. Another one is the reality check. And
Yeah.
I was at one point, I was writing on my hand. I should do it. I was writing on my hand, I am dreaming. And so I would see this every day. If I pick up my phone, I can see it on my thumb right here. Or if I'm doing some crafting, and so I go, I am dreaming, and then I poke my hand with the expectation that my finger would go through my hand. So that if I'm conditioning my subconscious that every time I poke my hand with my finger should go through it. If I do, because I do this every day, if I do this 10 times a day, it becomes such a habit that I subconsciously do it in my dream, because that's my just daily reality, is just to poke my hand. In a dream, when my finger goes through, I would be like, boom, I'm in a dream now. Whereas if I'm here, I'm like, I'm dreaming. No, I'm not in a dream, but I'll keep doing this just in case. Because I remember one of the times I broke through from into a lucid dream was when I was cleansing a crystal. And I have my affirmation for cleansing crystals. I say, I cleanse you of all negative and unwanted energies and send it back to the light. I say this 3 times. And this was during a time, I don't know, maybe I was in Nepal, or maybe I was in India. And, I'm selling on the streets or in cafes, and I'm doing this like every day. It's just so repetitive. It's not like it's a problem, but I'm doing it. And then in my dream, I started doing it in my dream. And this,
No way. Cool.
And so the fact that, because I've been doing this so frequently, and that's where my intention was, this action actually broke me through into the lucid dream. So, that's it's these reality checks. And just one more thing, which I just heard the other day, is with your dream journal, is to pick up your dream journal before you go to sleep, look at what you wrote down the night before, and then consider what you would have done differently, how you would have taken control of that situation. So there's so many layers to this.
Yeah, but it's very, like, there are so many things, like to spend your time and your will and like your motivation on it.
Yeah.
Also, when I do the waking, they call it the waking back to bed technique. Just wake up after 5 hours of sleep, then be awake for half an hour and then go to bed. I also, like, you have a lot of supplements and medications for it. Like, I don't like to take the medication when I'm like going on, but I take a supplement.
What is that?
it's like it's like a pill. It's like a supplement made out of a plant or something. Like I don't know the exact name. I can give to you it after it.
Yeah, I'd be
what it
very
is.
interested. It's not mugwort by any chance, is it?
It's what?
It's not mugwort by any chance, is it?
No, it's not mugwort. But yeah, you take it, and then like that technique really, it does the most thing for me. And then staying conscious when you go to bed, like that combination, it doesn't work every night, of course, because somehow it just doesn't. But that's the easiest thing to do for me, because like doing the reality check the whole time, every time, like
it's hard.
It's hard, and especially when I'm still working at construction, you know, like it's it's just so much noise and hectic and stuff. Oh, wait, guys, I'm gonna do a reality check, like, and all the noise. And it doesn't come to the surface of my mind, sadly, because I would love to have done it, but like it's just too chaotic still. And then on the weekends when I'm doing my sound healings and doing my meditations, then I got the level of mind again. Yo, buddy, you need to do a reality check. But it doesn't work if you do it just 3 days a week. You need to do it like
it has to
all
be
days.
Every day. It has to be 10 times a day kind of thing. And I can imagine what a whole bunch of tradies would be like if they see you like poking your hand every 10 minutes. Fuck. Oh, I'm just doing a reality check, guys.
Yeah.
Reality check, Bart. You're at work.
Well, they already think like I'm a weirdo. Like I'm always right now I pick the ones that are a bit conscious, like at work. Could be like from other companies, the electrician or whatever. Yeah. So the other day I came to like another guy. He's 25. He's like the carpenter, and I'm asking him, "Yo, do you see that chair? You know, it's standing there." So yeah, I'm like, "Do you see it is there, or do you see it in your mind, in your head?" He's like, "Fuck, man, it's there. You know, of course." And like the electrician around the corner, he hears me and he's like, "Are you fucking lunatic or what? What's wrong with you?" They started giving me like full shit. I'm like, so those simple questions, you know, about like how you see or what you see, like that already makes you a weirdo in this kind of muggle world.
I look, to be honest, I think I would say, yeah, the chair is there.
Well, you see it in your mind, like,
of course,
but it's more about the thing that you think about. It makes you weird. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you would do a reality check, that would really think like you completely lost it.
You're like the bald kid from the Matrix. Trick is the spoon's not actually there. The chair starts flopping over.
Yeah. I actually watched The Matrix like a month ago, like all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Like before I watched them like as a muggle, and now I watch them like as an awake person. I'm like, wow, this movie is like gold. Like there's so much wise stuff in it. Like
it's spiritual, man. Like it's got a lot of spiritual messages in it. It's deep, you know, like it's admittedly I haven't seen the second 2 recently. I think the first is just like a masterpiece. Yeah, but the other 2, I feel like it. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, you have to go through a bit of like the useless shooting and the dying of the people constantly, but you know, like okay, but the rest of the story is like really good.
Yeah, of course,
it's a good movie. But so as you started waking up and questioning reality and stuff, like also watching other movies really makes you like, whoa, what's going on? This is just a Disney movie, but there's so much deep stuff going on in this movie that you never pick up before.
Yeah.
And now you're like, whoa, this is a very spiritual movie actually, but I never knew this, you know.
Star Wars is.
What?
Star Wars is.
Star Wars. Oh yeah. Oh wait, I'm back.
Yes.
Star Wars is that's a perfect example about like the positive and the negative, you know, like the entities of this fighting, and it's cool.
The interesting part I always found in Star Wars was like, if we look at the prequels, you know, the whole idea that Obi-Wan was trying to get Anakin, and Anakin was meant to bring balance to the Force, but the thing is, it wasn't in balance before that because there was too much light. It was all the Jedis. It was all Jedis. There wasn't the Sith were the ones that were not. There was no energy with the Sith. There was no energy with the dark side. So when Anakin came into the picture, Obi-Wan saying, "You were meant to bring balance to the Force." In fact, he did. He just brought it to the side that he wasn't expecting.
Shit.
They balanced out, at least for a brief period of time. There was balance in the Force between light and the dark. Of course, the dark starts to outweigh the light when we get into episode 4, 5, and 6 and onwards. But he did. He brought balance.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's too long ago for me to really remember the story, but yeah. Now you say it, like I'm start connecting the dots. That's pretty cool though.
That's it. You can go back and watch these movies, and you're just like, Cyclops, I think.
Like all those ideas are still ingrained in our collective consciousness as humans, like they start getting out into these movies and all of these things. Yeah. So am I making sense or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like
you feel like you're back at work with your work colleagues. Am I making sense or?
No. I'm still like not speaking English so much anymore, and I didn't really see like a reaction of you. I'm like, maybe I'm saying some wrong English words or something, but
no.
I was making sense, luckily.
That's all right. Your English is good.
Thanks.
So, how else is the sound healing going? Because it's been on my mind nearly every day, man. We need to make some more guided meditations.
Yeah.
Been so lazy about contacting you and getting those set up, but you know what? I'm feeling pretty inspired about the idea of making a lucid dream meditation.
Oh yeah. Good.
The one to listen to before going to bed, and like.
Yeah, that's.
We can talk after this, and we can,
Yeah, I got an idea about this. Let's do that. I got all my gear. I got like the microphones, I got everything. So. Yeah, it's here.
yeah, it's ready to go. So I might wrap it up there, man. But like, if anyone wants to find you, do you have any socials that you can share with? You want to share with anyone?
I have Facebook,
Instagram, whatever it is.
I made Instagram, but it's just that. I haven't been too much on the internet yet, except for Facebook. I got Facebook. You can find me there.
Yeah.
You want me to give a link to put it under the video?
I can chuck it in I can chuck it in the description just below if you want.
Yeah. So if people really,
that's if you want to put it out there for everyone.
Yeah. Of course, if people have questions about sound healing, about sound itself, about singing balls or whatever, or they want to start doing this, like. And they got a question about anything, feel free to contact me. I'll be happy to share it.
What about if anyone else wants to contact you and make some guided meditations with you?
Yeah, of course. For everything, like if they get an idea, contact me, whatever. Like I'm open for everything. So
yeah.
Definitely.
Cool. Well, I think I'll leave it there, but stick around if you want to we can do a tarot reading after this if you want.
Yeah, let's do a tarot reading. I would love to, man. Thank you.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Fantastic. Okay, cool, man. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining me on the podcast. It was really good, man. I wasn't expecting lucid dreaming. I wasn't expecting so much more. Like, it sounds like you got so much happening.
Yeah, well, thanks for inviting me. And the conversation was, full. Like, we already talked for an hour or something. So
yeah, I try and keep it around an hour. So.
Yeah, it was amazing talking to you. So
thanks for listening to the Twisted Vibrations podcast. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and have a chat down in the comments down below and leave any suggestions for what topics you might want to hear in the future. See you next time.